What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. As you guys can see by the title, while you clicked on the video, I will be giving my review on Stellar Blade, or Stellar Yams, what I like to call it. But we're going to do a review on Stellar Blade. We're going to be doing it how we did our last review with Rise of the Ronin. If you haven't seen that review, go check that one out as well. But we're going to be doing a list of pros and cons, which is things that I liked about the game, things that I didn't like about the game, and then at the end we're going to be doing a final verdict of what I recommend the game, what I would rate it, and what I think of the game as a whole. So yeah, but what I would like to say before we get started is my review is solely going off of my experience. So what you could have experienced could be different from me. What I experienced could be different from you. So this is all mainly just my thoughts and opinions, and solely off of what I experienced with the game. So yeah, I just feel like I have to say that. So yeah. But also, this is like my second time doing the review, so hopefully you guys do enjoy the video. I'm trying to improve on my review type of videos, like the more games I do. So I do hope you guys do enjoy this video. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. All right, y'all, so we're gonna get started with what the game is about. I'm gonna try to sum it up for those of you that don't know without really spoiling anything for those who haven't played it yet. But pretty much this is a action adventure game. It's set in a post-apocalyptic Earth. You play as a character named Eve, who is from this colony in outer space. She's sent to Earth with her squad, the 7th Airborne Squad, to basically help the humans take back the Earth, because the Earth is like overrun with Naytibas, which is all the monsters that you're going to be fighting throughout the game. You have regular Naytibas, which is all the enemies you're going to be fighting throughout all the areas, all the maps. Then you have the Alpha Naytibas, which is like the big bosses, and then you have the Elder Naytiba, who is the like leader of all of them. So yeah, so they're sent to Earth with one mission: kill all the Naytibas, and also basically like, yeah, just kill all the Naytibas, kill the Elder Naytiba, and end this whole thing with the whole Naytiba thing. But Eve gets sent to Earth, and she ends up being the only survivor of her squad left, because everyone else died. And then she runs into a guy named Adam, who ended up saving her. Later on, she went into another woman named Lily, and then they end up helping her throughout her journey, I should say. You do come across the last remaining city with like humans in it, called Exxon, and that's basically like the hub for the game. And that's when you also get help from other people in the game as well. But Adam and Lily are the main two that are going to be helping you throughout the whole game, helping you with upgrades. We're not repairing, but like drone upgrades as well. They're going to be using the drone to travel to all these areas with you, to basically look at all these places and help you out without actually being there. But they, like I said, they do help you with the drone, turn the drone into a gun. They help you with skills and like upgrading her abilities and all that, and you know, her outfits and all that type of stuff. So yeah, they're gonna be there to help you out throughout the entire game, and pretty much that's mostly what the game is about. You're just like fighting Naytibas, fighting bosses, having epic boss fights, because the boss fights are epic, and then you trying to get to basically the Elder Naytiba and end this whole thing. Also, from what I've heard, the game does take inspiration from Bayonetta, Nier Automata, I think it's called. I have never played those two games, but it takes, from what I've heard, it takes inspiration from those games. But then it also has a lot of Souls elements as well. I clearly can see that. But yeah, it takes inspiration from different games and it puts it into one game, and I find that to be pretty cool. Alright, so we're going to start off with the pros as we've done before. And pro number one of what I liked about this game is it has a mixture of linear areas, semi-open areas, and open world areas. The first area that you go to actually is really linear. You can't really like do too much besides like come back and maybe get a chest or something. But then they have different areas of that map. I think that whole place is called Edith 7, if I'm not mistaken. They have different areas of that map, and then like the first area you're in is linear. The next area you go to would be like a flooded area, and that place would be that place has a whole another area underneath water that you need to drain the water in order to access. So it's like it goes from linear to semi-open because it has a restriction of where you can go until later on in the game, and you have to get a mission to come back in order to open up that area and explore even more of that area. So I like that. And then later on after that, you'll go to your first open world area, which is called the Wasteland, which is, it's pretty dead. Like there's no humans, but there are a bunch of monsters. So I wouldn't say it's dead. There's a lot of monsters roaming around. There's like basically nothing but monsters roaming around. There's no humans, but it's open area. You can go everywhere you want. There's a bunch of missions to do and complete, and like I said, I just like the fact that it just has a mixture of all three. And then later on they'll have like it'll have like a Dead Space theme area that's like, it's very linear. They try to scare you. You can only use your gun in that area. So they try to mix it up and not trying to make every place be the same kind of thing, and I really like that about the game. So the next thing on my pros list is the combat. The combat in this game is really good. Like I said before, the main two things that I can think of on the top of my head to relate it to is Bayonetta in any Souls game. But you can block, parry, dodge. You have to look at the enemy's move patterns so you know when to block and when to dodge and what you can and can't block. They show indicators of what is unblockable, what you have to dodge, and what, you know, if it doesn't show an indicator, then it is blockable or you can parry it. They also have certain moves that when you parry the enemy enough, they get staggered, and you can do those. You can do that certain move when they get staggered and only when they get staggered. They also have other abilities where they have some sort of thing called blink, where it'll show a blue icon on the enemy, then it'll show a blue icon on your sword, and you'll teleport behind them. It's like a counter. You'll teleport behind them, slash at them, knock them down or stagger them for a little bit and get some hits in. They also have another kind of counter, which is like a pink or purplish counter that you can do, where you'll knock them in the head. If you do it correctly, you'll knock them in the head, bring them down, they'll open up a yellow weak spot, and you can use Eve's gun to shoot that weak spot to do more damage than just slashing at them. So, and then also she has a gun, she has different type of ammo you can use. She has rockets, she has shotgun bullets, regular bullets, and then she also has like so many different moves that you can do in the skill tree, and those moves are very satisfying indeed. But all in all, the combat of the game is really good. I really enjoyed it. Also wanted to say before I forget, another cool thing about Eve's about the combat in this game is all of Eve's moves all go in together really well with her abilities. So one of the meters that Eve gets like at the very beginning of the game is called beta energy. It's like the blue bar above her health. Basically that beta energy it goes off of you being offensive with Eve, just attacking enemies. It doesn't matter how much damage you do to the enemies, just hitting enemies and attacking them fills up the meter, and that meter allows you to do her first few special moves that I'll talk about in her skill tree next. But just attacking enemies fills up that meter, and then you can just do moves like very fluently, just from right there once you get them, and then you just keep doing the same thing. And then she gets another meter later on called a burst meter, and that meter goes off of her defensive, meaning she has the perfect perfect parry and perfect dodge in order to fill that meter up to do those select moves. But all her combat moves together go like really well with each other, and that's another really cool thing that I like about the combat in this game. Also while we're on the subject of skill trees, she does have a good amount of skill trees in the game as well, and her skill trees aren't even over complicated. They tell you what they do, and if it's a move they show you what they do. And I think she starts off with like 3 skill trees, and she has 5 in total. But you unlock the other 2 later on, and then she also has a skill tree with her drone, which is also her gun. And with the drone skill tree, you can increase the radius of the scan. You can increase how many bullets you can have when she's using the gun part of it, and you can also unlock the type of bullets that you can use for it, and how many rockets it can fire, how much you can overcharge the laser that she can shoot out of it. So she has like a good amount of like skills that you can unlock for her. And the moves that you get from them skill trees are very good, especially when you upgrade them. And then when you get the end game new game plus, oh my god, we get the new game plus, they do even more moves and they are even stronger. So yeah, she has a lot of stuff going on that she can do, and it isn't even over complicated. Like I said, it's very simple stuff that you'll get the hang of like really fast. All right, so as far as the story, I really had to think about this one, but as far as the story, I would say I'm putting the story in my pros because I enjoyed the story for what it was. Now, and that's just me personally. Now, I'm not saying that the story was an amazing story. No, it's not going to be like a story that you're going to really like remember, like something like God of War, for instance. But I don't think it was a bad story either. I thought the story was decent. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story for what it had to offer. It wasn't confusing to me. It started making sense. We started finding out different things, like what the Naytibas are and stuff like that. Like, I'm trying to, like, I don't want to spoil too much, but or really spoil anything at all. But like I said, me personally, I enjoyed it for what it was. Everyone has their own opinion about the story, but this is just my opinion. I don't think it was bad, but do I think it was crazy good? No. But for what they had to offer, I enjoyed it. It does serve as like a part 1 because they are making another game. They've already confirmed that they're making another game, so it does serve as a part 1, and you'll notice that later on towards the end of the story, you'll start to really notice that. But like I said, me personally, I enjoyed it for what it had to offer, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. Another thing that I feel like is one of the best things about this game is the music. The music in this game sounds amazing. Like, there was not one part of this game where I thought the music was trash. I didn't want to listen to it. I wanted to listen to every song that was being played throughout the entire game. Like, the even when you're just exploring, the music sounds good. When you're fighting a boss, the music sounds good. When you deep in a cave, like everywhere, the music when you're in the city, the music sounds good. There even is one part where there's a bar with this one chick singing and her voice sounds so amazing. Like, bruh, if this game isn't in best like game of the year category, I feel like it will definitely be in the best music category for the games this year, because the music in this game was sounding extremely good. I cannot lie. I was thinking about putting it on a playlist to listen to. I could listen to it all day. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this is an obvious thing, but graphically, this is a good looking game, so this would definitely be on my list. The whole game looks good. The character models look good. You can see, like, when they're talking, they actually look like they're actually saying the words that are like that they're speaking. But yeah, the enemies look good as well. And yes, I know her body physics look good too. We see the ass, we see the titties, they jiggle. Yes, graphically it looks good. That's why I call it Stellar Yams. We all see it. So yes, but all jokes aside, graphically the game is a really good looking game, so it has no complaints from me. Now, speaking of Eve, I would like to also put on the pros that her customization is really good. Eve has a lot of outfits. I mean, a lot of outfits to choose from. Now, New Game Plus, a lot of the outfits, majority of the outfits are reskins, they're just different colors. But when you do your first playthrough and like you explore and find all these outfits, you'll realize she has a lot of different outfits to choose from. You'll find yourself chasing her outfit constantly, unless like you're one of those people that just want to see her with least amount of clothes as possible. God, I'm not gonna lie, some of these people in this game is some horny ass mother. But I digress. She has a lot of outfits to choose from. She has different glasses that you can choose from, that you can purchase from a vendor that you can put on her. I only had like one pair of glasses that I had on her for my first playthrough. I didn't change it till later. She also has earrings that you can choose from as well. You can choose, like, purchase different hairstyles from a hair salon in the city, and then you can also buy some of the outfits with like a different kind of currency that isn't money from one of the other vendors in the city as well. But majority of the outfits you will be finding out in the different areas that you have to visit throughout the story. So yeah, and then also Adam and Lily, you can actually find outfits for them too, so you can change their outfits as well. But it's a good amount of customization you can add to Eve. So yeah, honestly, I do feel like there is a good variety of enemies in the game. Now, every enemy you fight in the game is called a Naytiba. That's all you fight throughout the entire game, is nothing but Naytibas. You don't fight humans, you just fight Naytibas. But they have a good variety of different types of Naytibas that you fight. You got the ones at the beginning that have like, they'll be like a long bodies with like two, what was it, I think they have like what, 2 arms, and then you hit them to a certain point and they'll grow a 3rd arm and try to hit you. You have the floating starfish looking ones. Then you have the or what is it, starfish or like octopus looking ones. Then you have later on when you get to the wasteland, you got like these like big, like fat guys with like sickles in their hands that try to come after you. You also got the little like small spider looking ones at the beginning. They have other ones that look like little pets with spikes on their heads. It's like every area you're coming across like different kind of enemies that you have to fight. They even have robots you gotta fight too, that you'll see towards the beginning of the game as well. So they have a good variety of different kind of enemies you fight. Along with the different variety of enemies that you come across throughout the game, there's also a different variety of bosses that you come across throughout the game, especially in the story. When you fight the bosses in the story, there's only one particular boss that fights the same, and they just shoot stuff at you and it's for a certain reason. Other than that, all the other bosses that you fight throughout the story of the game, none of them are the same. They all fight differently. They all have their different move sets. A lot of them look unique. At first you'll think they're all just have like a chainsaw for a head, but that's actually not the case when you get to later on in the game. But they all look unique. They all fight different. There's like some really good boss fights that you'll come across, and some of those bosses you'll fight harder versions of them if you find them when you're doing side missions or exploring the open world areas, because I think they're all only in the open world areas, but you'll fight harder versions of them out there as well. So like I said, the boss fights are really cool. Some may be hard, some may not. It's like, at the end of the day, what's not hard for me could be hard for somebody else, and vice versa. So yeah, but all the boss fights are cool, especially the last boss. The last boss is definitely a cool boss fight. It's an epic one. There's one thing I always appreciate when it comes to video games, is when they actually give you a lot of side quests to do, because I'm the type of person that tries to do all the quests. I don't just do main story and try to rush through games. I like to take my time and do every quest that they have to offer, or the ones that I can do, and this game does just that. They give us a lot of side quests that we can do. They have 2 forms of side quests. They have the exclamation point side quest, which is what I call like the normal side quests. Those are the ones that have like cutscenes, the different type of people you talk to. They have like their own stories to them and all that. And then they also have bulletin board side quests, which I call the side quests, which those quests you just do. Like, there's no cutscene to them, none of that. You just do the quest, come back to the bulletin board, turn it in, and yeah. And they give you quite a bit of quests for that as well. But I do appreciate the game doing that. I will say though, that this game will hit you with a point of no return at 60%. That's like pretty much halfway through the game, so be aware of that. And if you want to do all your side quests, make sure you get them done before that 60%, because once you go past the point of no return, there is no more side quests. The story just takes off from there, just keeps going and going and going. So I just wanted y'all to be aware of that. But like I said, they do give a good amount of side quests that you can do, and those side quests lead you back to previous areas that you've already done. Some lead you to areas that you haven't gone to yet, that you're on your way to, but they do have a good amount of side quests for you to do, so that way you're not speed running the game. If you want to, like, you know, put more hours into the game, you can do that. And that's also how you get to other certain boss fights as well. So yeah, another thing that I really liked about this game that I had to put on my pros list is the fast travel. The game has fast travel, so that way you're not just constantly having to go through areas again, because if you don't know, certain areas don't have a map. Certain areas have a map, and then you have certain areas that don't, and it would suck to have to literally travel an entire area again for a side mission. So they have fast travel in the game. They basically are telephone booths where you just go to the telephone booth and then you can click on where you want to fast travel. If it's an open world, they allow you to choose on a map where you want to go. If it's semi-open, they just give you certain areas that you can fast travel to that have the phone booth as well. But I do appreciate them for adding that into the game. But another thing that is really good about the fast travel that I feel like more games need to add is the fact that when you do a side quest and you get done the side quest, they give you an option to fast travel all the way back to where the person, like right in front of the person that gave you the side quest, so that way you can fully complete it. More games need to do that, because it does suck having to just constantly manually fast travel back on your own at times. It's like you don't waste time when they have it like that, where you can just fast travel straight to the person that you talk to for the mission and complete it right then and there, and then move on. Now they do, like I said, they give you the option to do that, so you can press no if you have other missions in that area. But I do appreciate the devs adding that in for people that don't want to waste their time traveling all the way back through the map to get on the ship to fly back to the city, then travel all the way through the city to talk to a certain person. You can literally just travel right there, right in front of them, complete the mission, and move on with your life. So that is something that's really good that I feel like more games need to add. Alright, so now for the voice acting. This one I had to really think about if I should put it in my pros or cons, because the one thing, what I would say about the voice acting is this: some characters are good, other characters are bad. It really comes down to like your opinion on the voice acting with this one. And like, for instance, I liked Eve's voice actor. She was good. Lily's voice actor was good. Taki's voice acting was good. The guy that you meet in the city of Exxon called Oracle, his voice acting was good. But then you have people like Adam, who his voice acting, I didn't feel like it was really that good. He sounded very lifeless. He didn't really sound like he had any emotion, any personality. He kind of sounded like a robot. The girl that you meet at Sister's Junk that you have to talk to, one of the vendors, her voice actor kind of sounded like she didn't know how to say it or really what to say. But I think it comes down to like the script that they were reading. I don't think it's the voice actor at fault. I think it comes down to the script that they were reading. But me personally, I did enjoy majority of the voice actors, so that's why I would have to put this in my pros. I did hear that in the Korean version, their voice acting is way better, but that kind of makes sense. Well, not kind of, it makes sense to me because it's a Korean game. So like, it's the same thing with the Yakuza games. In Japanese, it's a Japanese game, so in Japanese their voice actors are way more superior than the English voice actors. So like I said, I feel like that's just a given considering that fact that it's a Korean game. But as far as the English version, from what I played, I enjoyed majority of the voice actors, but I didn't enjoy all of them, because there were like some side characters that you talk to for the side missions, they had terrible voice acting as well. But then there were also a select few that were also good. So like I said, for me personally, I would put this in the pros because I enjoyed the majority of the voice acting. Like I said, it all comes down to your personal opinion with this, and for me, I would have to put it in the pros. All right, so I will say, as far as the pacing for the game story, I will say the pacing is decent. The reason why I have the pacing in pros is because it didn't really bother me too much. Yeah, some areas do take a while to get through, like an area called Matrix 11. When you first do that area, it does take a while to get through that area. The area is pretty long. And then, like I said, some areas when you get to like closer to the end of the game, they are kind of long. But I don't feel like, me personally, I don't feel like it drags out too much. I will say the pacing though, for when you get to that 62% point, when you hit the no point of return, the game does speed up. Like it goes, like the story starts to go faster, so you start to like get into more boss fights, you start to get more stuff from the story. So I will say the pacing is decent in my opinion. It didn't bother me too much, so that's why it's in the pros. But I will say I don't think it's like bad. I don't think it's like it's a bad pacing, but I don't think it's like incredibly good either. But I did, like I said, it didn't bother me when I played the game. It was just like, there was just one part where I was like, oh man, this place is pretty long. But other than that, it didn't feel like to me that it was dragging out. Now let's talk about the difficulty of the game. I feel like this game is one of the easier type of, like, if you're looking to play a Souls game or it's your first time playing a Souls type of game, this game is one of the easier games that you could get into, because I don't feel like this game is that difficult. It does come down to your skill and how well you are with timing parries, timing perfect dodges, and knowing when to attack and when to not attack. But I feel like overall this game is not that difficult, honestly. Some people are like, oh, this game's too hard. I was stuck on these bosses. Even on story mode, I got stuck on these bosses because they have story mode difficulty, normal difficulty, and they have hard. Hard you don't unlock until after you beat the game, which I'll talk about that later. But I feel like I said before, this game wasn't really that challenging. And also, they even have, if you play story mode, they have a feature in story mode called Action Assist that can help you out if you're struggling, or if you're someone that just can't get the timing down when it comes to parrying and blocking and dodging. They have an Action Assist accessibility feature in story mode difficulty that you can use to help you get through the game. So like I said before, this is one of the easier type of Souls games. I mean, easier kind of Souls games in my opinion, because it has a lot of Souls elements in it. But I don't think this game is that difficult at all. It really comes down to your skill, and someone who has played Souls games and Bloodborne games before, they're going to breeze through this kind of game. But even for people who haven't played it, they have a whole feature to help those people out if they are struggling. So this game is not a crazy, like, the difficulty isn't crazy. Yes, some of the bosses do get harder later on in the game when you're progressing through the story, but they're not unbeatable. You won't get stuck on them for 5, 6, 7 hours. They are beatable. You may take you like an hour or two, but I would say probably 2 at the most, if anything. But like I said, it does always come down to your skill, and they do allow you to practice in the game as well when it comes to practicing different moves too. So like I said, I do feel like this game is one of the easier types of games when it comes to like a Souls like kind of game. All right, so now we're going to get into the cons of what I did not like about the game. So the first con would be that I didn't like how long it took to switch the ammo. So in order to switch the ammo in the game, you have to aim. First of all, you don't know what ammo you left off at, because the game doesn't tell you until you aim. You aim, you figure out, okay, I'm at this ammo, and there's a lot of times where you'll be empty on that ammo. Then you have to hold down, and then you have to switch the analog to another ammo, to another type of gun, another type of ammo, and then shoot. And then by that time, the enemies are already like hitting you. So it does take it's like a process a little bit to switch ammos. It's like more buttons than I would like, because that has got me like hit a couple of times where I'm like, oh snap, I didn't know I didn't have any ammo in this, and I switched to a different type of gun, and then next you know I get hit while doing that, and they knock me out the animation of switching to the gun, and now I gotta run away and do it again. It takes a little bit too long to switch. I wish there was like a button that we can press to just automatically switch, or at least like know what ammo type we have before aiming the gun. So the next thing that I will put on my cons list, and this is like a me thing, I guess you can say, but I feel like the game doesn't give you enough things to buy, meaning like you get out, they give you a lot of money in this game, but then it gets to a point to where it's like, well, what's the point of me getting all this money? I finished the game with like over 100k, and throughout the game I didn't really spend too much money on a lot of stuff. The main things you would spend your money on is revive packs, which is like $1,500, and then you would spend money on health packs, which was like very cheap. They'd be like 300, 200, and then you would spend your money on ammo, which is very cheap. And then the second highest thing you would spend your money on is like material for like crafting like outfits and stuff, and then it also would depend on the type of outfit that you're trying to get. But even then, buying like at least 10 revives is still higher than buying the material, like 99 materials. So I feel like the game should at least give us more things to buy, and what they should have probably did was, if you didn't have the other kind of currency, which I think it was called like Bitcoin or something like that, and you would use that to buy outfits and buy mods, if you didn't have that currency, I feel like what they should have did was give you an option of using that currency to buy the outfit, or if you have money, you can use like, it can be like $20,000 or something like that for this one outfit. So that way it gives us the reason to save up our money, and gives us the reason to spend our money instead of just constantly giving us money for like no reason. But like I say, it really just a me thing. But I just feel like they should have did it that way instead of just having it where we don't really spend money much, but they give us a lot of money. So yeah. Now, along with that con, the next thing I didn't like about the game is that the bulletin board quest, which is what I call the side quest, they don't give SP. And if you don't know what SP is skill points that you use to upgrade Eve's abilities or purchase more abilities. The bulletin board quests only give you money, and like I said, we get a lot of money in the game, especially from those quests, and I feel like a lot of those quests should give us SP as well, or at least some quests should be money, other quests should be SP, but they all give just money, and that's it. And I feel like we don't need to just get only money from that. SP would be nice too. So that's another thing I didn't like, that the bulletin board quests, they don't give any skill points at all. Alright, so for this next one that I didn't like the fact that you couldn't remove her ponytail. If you guys don't know, they've said that the sword comes out of her ponytail, so that's one of the reasons why you couldn't remove it. Also, her ponytail has that clip on it to where she can go up and down rope when she's climbing a rope. So they said that in the next game they're going to allow us to take off the ponytail, because the ponytail didn't go right with a lot, well, not even a lot, but quite a few of her hairstyles. It just didn't look right. So they said in the next game they're going to allow us to remove it, but as far as this game, you can't remove it at all. You either just make it short or you can make it long. So that's one of the things that I didn't like, is the fact that you couldn't remove her ponytail. Now, this game didn't have too many bugs and glitches that I experienced, but there was one like game-breaking bug where so I'm putting this on my list, where you would complete a side quest and then you couldn't move or do anything. Like the mission complete wouldn't come up, like nothing would come up. You couldn't do anything, you couldn't move, you couldn't pause, you just literally couldn't do anything, and it would cause you to have to close the app and restart the game and go back and do it again, and either it'll do it again or it'll be unbroken and you can finally move around and everything will work accordingly. That wasn't creepy at all. Am I stuck? Bruh, I can't move. Yo, I can't do anything. I literally can't do anything. What? But that did happen to me a couple of times, so like I said, that's the reason why I got put that on my list. So this next one on my cons list is the hard mode for the game. If you guys don't know, you unlock hard mode by beating the game. I don't like the way they did it with the hard mode where you have to beat the game in order to play it, because I feel like it's a waste. Hard mode in this game is literally just enemies with more health and they hit harder. That's it. And if you play it on New Game Plus, the game won't really even feel that hard, because you'll have Eve like being damn near max level. When you beat the game, you won't have all her skill points, I mean all her like abilities, but you'll be damn near maxed out on everything in all the skill trees. And then you unlock even more stuff to be even stronger, and it's like I said before, it's not going to feel that hard. But I feel like what they should have did with this hard mode is gave it to us at the beginning, when we first do our first initial playthrough. Give us a choice of doing it instead of just having normal and story mode. And then what they could have did was, if you play on hard mode, you get more skill point experience, and then you get unique outfits for playing on the harder difficulty, and then maybe the characters are more aggressive, they have different moves, something like that. Instead, and like more customization, maybe customization options for Eve that you can't get in the other two difficulties. I feel like they could have did something like that, but instead they just gave us just a regular hard mode with just harder, like just more health enemies, and they hit harder, and that's it. And I don't really like that. All right, y'all, so that's pretty much it on my pros and cons on the game of what I like and didn't like about the game. My final verdict, honestly, the game is I feel like the game is a very good game. It's fun. I enjoyed the combat, I enjoyed the music a lot, I enjoyed the epic boss fights. Like I said before, I enjoyed the story for what it had to offer, and all. Like I said, it's a very fun and enjoyable game. Currently at the moment, like I said before, I am going through New Game Plus, so I am trying to finish that to get the other ending, because there are multiple endings. I think there might be 3 in total, but I'm just trying to get the other one, which is like the second one. So yeah, but like I said before, I did enjoy the game a lot, which means that I do recommend you get the game if you haven't gotten it already. If I had to rate the game, I would rate it at 8.5. Like I said, I enjoyed it a lot. It's an enjoyable game for sure, and I feel like if you get the game, you will have your time with it as well. So that is pretty much it for this video. Hopefully for anybody who watches this video, if you haven't gotten the game yet and you're trying to decide if you want to get the game or not, hopefully if you see this video, I helped you on making a decision if you want to get the game or not. Like I said, I recommend it, so go ahead and get it if you haven't played it already. If you guys want to see any more videos from me, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button. And until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Peace.